I didn't say we were being classy for Inktober 2019, but we are being creative. Hi, it's Wednesday, September 25th, and I've just made the executive decision to scrap a whole vlog that I had been filming like all September long, because I felt kind of like disjointed filming so far apart throughout the month of September, and because I was doing so much prep for the Inktober project, but everything was in the real infancy stages. It's a whole lot of just me talking to the camera about not a whole lot. So I don't think it's very interesting. I don't think it's very informative, and it doesn't explain a lot about this whole process. So I'm gonna film a little bit today and kind of recap everything I've been doing, and then I will edit that and put that up for this Friday's video so that you get a little bit of a behind the scenes, a little bit of process, a little bit of just looking at the mess that is my life currently. My plant is dying, and so am I. All right, so just kind of the current list of things that are happening right now. I'm inking the Inktober project, which officially has a title, and the first 7 pages, so the first week of Inktober is now done. At least the traditional pages are done. I have just finished scanning them digitally, so I will be adding the text. So that's something I'm gonna do later on. I have some other digital projects. Guys, this whole month my speech is like out the window. I don't even know, like, if I use the word panel and pages interchangeably, it's because in my brain it doesn't even make sense anymore. So I finished inking the first week of the Inktober pages. That is like priority 1 because there's 31 of those babies and I only have 7 done. The rest are still in this like halfway really sketchy phase. I'll explain a little bit about what I'm using and how I kind of chose my supplies and things like that. But the second thing that it has to be done is I have to finalize the cover. I've been posting like a lot of polls on Twitter and Instagram, kind of having you guys help me pick the font for the title. Originally, this was my original cover concept design. This is also going to be the rough size of the final project as well. It won't have this white border, hopefully, but this is kind of what the cover will look like. That's what the back will look like. I've been posting that on Instagram and Twitter. So the title of the project is Celestial, if I haven't mentioned that. It's my Inktober project for 2019. I'm going to be posting 1 page of this story every day in October. And if you just can't wait, I am posting it 1 day early over on Patreon, so you'll get each page 1 day before everybody else, and that's a Patreon exclusive thing that I won't be doing for very many things, but for this I'm doing it because I feel like the people on Patreon have really been like hardcore supporting this project, so I want to give them something that they can look forward to. So once the pages are done and I have scanned them, uploaded them, kind of cleaned them up a little bit, then I have to add the text and then I can upload them. Like I said, I'm uploading them to Patreon. I'm going to be doing Instagram, of course, and then I'm looking currently into uploading them somewhere like Webtoon or Tapastic, which I think is just called Tapas now. It's really hard not to say tapas. Come on, brain, get it together. So once that's done, that will kind of quell a lot of the nerves that I have about things not getting done at the pace that I want to get them done at. Additionally, I'm obviously doing the October Patreon rewards, so I'm working on a sticker sheet currently. It's not done, but here's what it looks like so far. Whoa! So there you have it. It's looking really cute, so hopefully I can get that kind of wrapped up today as well. I already finished the print for this month. Well, I can show you it in my sketchbook, I guess. I also filmed a sketchbook update. That's coming soon. This drawing right here, this is going to be the Patreon print for the $5 tier. I thought it was really cool, so cool in fact, that I wanted to print it basically as is, but on colored paper. So I have this like colored cardstock. Let me take you to the closet. This colored cardstock that I got a while back. It was like on clearance at Michael's. By the way, I got this paper organizer. I'll link it down below. You can get it on Amazon. It's gonna be a game changer, guys. But I have purple, yellow, orange, green, and then like this off-white color, but I think those might be cool for prints. So I'm gonna make kind of a small batch of prints, and those are going to be the Patreon rewards, and I'm also gonna release them on my store. So the store, there's gonna be 3 things launching in October. I was going for October 1st, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. It all kind of depends on this weekend, which I'll also get to. There's going to be the prints. These prints, they will likely be smaller than this. I don't think I'm going to sell large prints. They'll likely just do like small little kind of postcard size prints. Maybe I'll even make them postcards. That would be kind of cool. I'll look into that. We're not there yet. Then the sticker sheet, and then the pre-order for the Celestial zine slash book slash comic slash graphic novel, whatever I'm calling it. On the cover, it's called a graphic novel, but it's like not a novel, it's a zine. It's shorter, so I might officially call it a zine. And that's my Inktober project for 2019. So I'm pumped about that. Obviously, I'm not doing daily ink drawings in October, so it's not like a purist Inktober project, but it's pretty dang close. And just the reality of doing a large scale project like this, like I have to do a lot of it early. I also have the time to do a lot of it early right now because I'm in the middle of applying to jobs and interviewing, so I have the time. I'm gonna do a project. So that is what I'm doing there. That covers the store launch, that covers the pages. I'll talk a little bit briefly just about the materials that I'm using for Inktober this year. First of all, I'm using the Georgia Pacific cardstock that I talked about in my favorite marker paper video a while back. Not sure if it was the best choice for this project, because this project actually does involve quite a bit of wet media and layering, which this paper is not the best at. But it's cheap and I have a lot of it, so that's why I picked it for this project. This is kind of just a swatch list of a few supplies. I did not end up using all of these supplies, but a few standout products that I have been using. First, I feel like this is the MVP of Inktober 2019. This is the Daler Rowney FW acrylic ink in indigo. I have it in this little Arteza water brush pen diluted with some water just to kind of like make it last, because I go through this ink really quickly. As you can kind of tell, it's the bulk of a lot of these pages. So this stuff is thebomb.com. I love it a lot, and they have a bunch of different colors. I've used some of their other colors in the past and love them. The coolest thing about it is like once it's dry, it's like budge proof. So that's been really cool, paired with the Arteza brush pen that I didn't love, but it's good for this project because I can beat the hell out of it and I don't feel bad. The next kind of product that's coming in clutch is this Daiso calligraphy ink. Spent $1.50 on 180 mils of ink, black ink, and this was because my little tiny Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay Black India ink just wasn't gonna last 31 days with the size and amount of black in these illustrations. Again, you can tell, like, they're all like that. Like, so far, there's like, it's, you know, there's a lot. So, I needed an ink that was gonna last, and basically I've just been using this to fill my Pentel pocket brush. I've actually kind of just been using the Pentel pocket brush as a regular paintbrush and like putting the ink in here and like dipping and spreading it around. I didn't say we were being classy for Inktober 2019, but we are being creative. And so that's another thing I've been using. Multi-liners, these Copic multi-liners have been cool. My Sakura jelly rolls in all 3 sizes. I have been using every single size and getting good use out of it. The 05, the 08, and the 10. I have been using some Copics, very light colors, just for like some minimal shading to break up parts of the piece that aren't black or indigo. So I've been doing that. I have this aquash pen that's filled with just a little bit of ink, again diluted with water. Pentel Colorase color pencils to sketch. And then, oh, these are the other cool supplies that I have been using and loving. These are the Derwent Inktense pencils. This guy, you can tell, has been used a little bit more. This is the shade Golden Yellow. I got this as like a freebie from like a Dick Blick order a while ago and loved it for Inktober 2 years ago. Brought it back this year as kind of one of the staple colors that I've been using, and I love it. So much so that I picked up just a basic set of some other colors to try out. I've swatched them and I've used a few of these, mostly the blue and yellow, because that's kind of the theme of Inktober this year. It's a super limited color palette that I'm using. And then the last two things that I have been kind of adding, these are the only things that aren't like ink based in any way, because these pencils are not watercolor pencils, they are ink pencils, which is cool. The only non-ink product has been my Prismacolor Premier pencils, and I've only been using 2 colors. Probably a chance I'm going to be using 3, because there's like a baby, yeah, there's like a baby yellow one that I'll probably be using at times as well. So Deco Yellow, Salmon Pink, and White. These are the only other things that I'm using, and they're very sparing. But that's kind of how I've been doing it. I did a lot of my paneling traditionally at first, a lot of my storyboarding. Decided I'm too safe when it comes to traditional, so I did a lot of my thumbnails then digitally. And basically it allowed me to ensure that the entire story was, oh gosh, you're not even gonna be able to see that, why do I bother? The entire story fit within 31 pages, which is what I wanted. It was a little bit of a challenge writing wise. Basically, I just decided to like pull out all the stops and challenge myself in 100 different ways. Not only is it a big project, but it's a story, it's a graphic novel, so I have to draw characters consistently. I have to work on my anatomy and my expression and my motion, you know, how I convey motion, and it's challenging my writing abilities and my storytelling abilities, as well as my illustrating abilities. But it's a cool story, and I'm excited about it, because it's a story that, as I kind of look back at my creative inspirations over the past 5 years, the theme has been very present. When I first developed these characters, I developed Volana originally officially in 2015, and then Helios came shortly after. This other character, Rhea, is a newer character that kind of came out of necessity for a plot point, because originally I just had the 2 characters in mind and no real story, no real kind of grounding environment or elements to their backstory. I guess when I first developed these characters, it always made sense that it was going to be a love story, but it's actually not. It's kind of a story about loneliness, particularly physical loneliness, emotional loneliness, and then the combination of the 2. So that's kind of where the story really was born, and oddly enough, I feel more ready to make this story now than I ever have before. To expand on that a little bit, yes, my phone is very on brand. It's, at this point, I don't even really care if the project turns out well. Like, I could put in all this effort, all of this work, blood, sweat, and tears, and not like the finished product, and still be proud of the project, because I'm learning so much as I go. I'm only going to continue to learn more throughout this whole experience, and that's exciting to me, because I don't want this to be the last time I write a story. But in order for me to get better, I have to just do the dang thing, and I'm so ready, and I'm like excited about it. So this is kind of how I always thought starting a project like this should feel. And truthfully, if I'm being honest, I did not even get this excited about the Zodiac project. I loved that project, but it was more about making a calendar than it was about making characters that I was excited about. And I love that you guys got excited about the Zodiac characters, and there's still a part of me that like hopes I can find that joy for those characters in the future again. But with this project, with Celestial, I have the spark from wanting to make this cool project, wanting to make the zine, combined with like my love for these characters, because these characters have been around forever. In fact, one of the ideas that I've had kind of floating around in my head recently is a video where I go through the notes app on my phone, what I call my 2 a.m. chronicles, and just read some of these old like thoughts and ideas that I've had that in a weird way kind of ended up being this story. The story kind of had a lot of different versions in my head, and then when I settled on this version, it was like, yes, that was it. That's the one I'm going for. So in a weird way, this project kind of like wrote itself, and it was very passive and kind of sitting on the back burner for a long time. And then one day it was just like, this is it, I'm doing it. Which is not the time effective way to do a project like this, because it feels like it's literally been 5+ years in the making, but we're here. So that's taking up my time and energy for the moment. I want to get a lot of things done. Luckily, kind of every time something in my life like this happens and it's like so busy, Keith goes camping and I have the house to myself for the weekend. So I will have a whole weekend of drawing and sketching and inking and just taking care of everything, which is awesome. And that's so what I needed. Love having him around. Also love when he goes camping. It's a win-win. I want to get this project done so badly, and I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I hope you're excited too. Okay, you're gonna have to suffer through the printer noise for just a few moments. I'm printing out more of my little templates. These just have the pre-measured page size already like printed onto the paper, so it saves me that extra step. So I'm printing 18 more of these because that's how many I need. Guys, it's so many illustrations, it's actually crazy, and I haven't even gotten to like the busier, more difficult pages yet, so the printer's taking forever. But while I was waiting, I took this picture on my phone. This is of an illustration I did recently, super blown out, sorry. And I had the idea of making it like a 2-picture spread on my Instagram. So basically I just like put it into Photoshop, kind of figured out the sizing, and now I can post them like side by side as square images. So basically all I did to do that was create canvas size that was 2000 wide by 1000 pixels high, and that meant I could do 2 side by side squares. Then I put my photo in and kind of cropped it and like messed with the colors, and then I just selected each square side. The step that I did to make that easier was that I inserted a guide right down the middle of my canvas, and that way when I do the select tool in Photoshop, it like automatically like clicks to the guide, so I could just easily select like the 2 halves and then airdropped into my phone. So now instead of having this picture, I have, oops, I have this one, well now, oh gosh, this one, and then this one. So it'll be like a spread. So I'm gonna post that on Instagram. I think it'll look really cool. And I have kind of only a few days left to like really hype up Inktober. So I wanna be very mindful of my Instagram posts over the next few days, because I think I could do some really cool stuff. I'm really into like doing posts in kind of a sequence of 3s on my Instagram, but I think this might be kind of a cool change up. So I think I'm gonna do that. and you'll have already seen it probably by now. So but just kind of share a little hack with you guys about how I did that on Photoshop, and then also share the hack with like how I pre-printed my guides on here. All right, the sticker sheet is done. Basically all I added was my little title banner at the top, and then I added my name here, which is new. I didn't do this last month, but I'm kind of changing it up. So I'm adding my little name there, and then the 10-19 so that I know the month and the year that I designed this sticker sheet. I really love this. I think it came out super cool, and I can't wait to see what it looks like printed. Yes, if you can believe it, the printer is still going. It's been like 30 minutes. And last I checked, it was only like halfway done. I don't know why. I picked the wrong print setting. So it's printing like photo quality for these very 4 thin blue lines, which is my bad. But it is what it is. I'm just letting it go. I need to get the sticker sheet into Cricut Design Space, and then I think I'm also going to print out just like a couple of like cardstock, just like plain little cutouts for me to write thank you notes on for patrons, and then for orders just for the next few months. Just like, I think they're cute, so I thought that might be kind of a cool idea, and it would get me to use up some more of this like cardstock that I have. That's not even like all the colored cardstock that I have. Those are just like the big sheets of colored cardstock that I showed earlier. I have like just those little like packs of cardstock too that I need to go through. So I thought that might be kind of a fun way to use it up. But the sticker sheet is done, so that's great. I think before I get too involved in adding the text to the Inktober pages, I need to kind of like take a pause and research some InDesign tutorials, because I think that's gonna be the most practical way for me to format the book is in Adobe InDesign, and I think having it all kind of formatted may affect how I place the speech bubbles and stuff like that. So in a weird way, like I kind of want to do that first. I have the text like all, you know, up here, and I have it written down, and so that's like less of an issue, but like I definitely, like the formatting I want to have figured out. So I need to get that done, or not like done, but I need to kind of have some research to fall back on so that I'm not scrambling and rushing through the formatting process. So that's on tap for tonight, and then I want to finish the cover. So if I do all of those things, I'll be pretty happy, because Patreon will be figured out, as will the cover. So I also want to write up like a little description for the inside cover, just basically like a brief overview of like what the project is, kind of, you know, obviously not like full-on character descriptions, but like how I described earlier, how it's a story about loneliness, it's not a love story, and then explaining that it's my Inktober project for 2019, and like some social media stuff, basically. Like that's all it'll have. So I need to get that figured out as well. It's a lot of things, guys. It's a lot of things, on top of which I am full applying to job mode as well. I posted those pictures on Instagram. It was kind of a weird time to post because it's almost like 5 o'clock, but they seem to be performing really well. It was like I got this surge of likes right after I posted them, so that was cool. Just to show you, that's how it looks on my Instagram feed. Obviously there's a lot of, oh gosh, oh it just finished printing, nice. My printer is so loud. Obviously there's like a lot of white in my Instagram feed right now, but I'm planning on obviously transitioning into darker colors for Inktober, so I think that will kind of carry me over into Inktober nicely, having those like darker photos. And then I have to think of like another kind of dark photo that I can add in to balance that out from there. So yeah, there you have it. That's that. And we're almost gonna kind of be done for today. This kind of summed up everything I filmed in that initial vlog, but that was like a 40-minute vlog. This will hopefully be shorter. Now I have to clean the printer heads because it printed all kinds of ridiculous. But actually it kind of gives me an idea because the stripes in the background kind of look nice, but all the colors printed wrong, and obviously there's like lines going through it. It's super streaky and weird. You can hear the printer up to its nonsense again because I have to clean the print heads. I'll probably have to clean them a few times before it like figures itself out. I also remembered I haven't like washed my Cricut cutting mat since I got it, and I should probably do that because it has like no stick left. So I think after this, I'm gonna research how to clean it. Oh yes, the music of my life. These printed so much better. It's looking a little more red on camera, but the background really is more purple. I decided, because I actually kind of liked the lines on the misprinted version, that I would kind of try and do something different or along those lines. It's more subtle, which I think is good because it doesn't take away from the stickers themselves. But I think this looks so good. So I'm probably gonna make like 6 of these now just to cover me for Patreon. And then I will list some in my online store during the month of October. Okay, so sticker sheets are cut. This is what they look like. Very happy with them. While I had the Cricut, whatever, up and running, I just went ahead and printed like some of these little tags. I could use these as like actual gift tags or as little thank you papers for patrons and store orders. So I just printed some of those to have. And to clean my cutting mat, what I actually ended up using is just baby wipes. It worked marginally well. It got rid of a lot of the like surface grime, but it didn't restore like full stickiness. And I think like the best way to fully do that is to wash it with soap and water, which I'm not doing that today. That's a problem for another day. Because I am like so exhausted. I feel like I've been going non-stop all day, from inking to designing to cutting the things. I'm like so the last thing I'll probably do is cut down some of the colored cardstock to size so that I can print those tomorrow. I probably won't print them tonight. I'm gonna give the printer a break. I already turned it off, so it's done for the day. And I think I'm by myself for dinner, so I'm probably just gonna cook a little bit of dinner. We made a really awesome dinner last night. We made my grandma's chicken and rice recipe, and it was so good, which I know is not Inktober related, but side note, it makes tons of leftovers. Maybe I'll share the recipe with you guys, or maybe I won't. So I'm just catching up on some YouTube videos. I'm watching Mira Byler's 12 Fun Ways to Fill a Sketchbook video right now. Probably watch a couple more YouTube videos while I finish up in here, and then I might transition out into the living room and watch more Naruto, because that's what I've been watching recently. The only other thing I guess I haven't shared that I could is I picked this up at my local thrift shop. I went with my friend this weekend when she was in town. We went thrift shopping and we went to a couple of different ones, and I found this at the first one that we went to, and was immediately like, I want to get that. And I almost got a mythology one too, just because I felt like it might be good to have as like a resource, but then I was like, I basically made up my own mythology story, and I don't really need to figure out if it's like similar to one ancient version somewhere somehow. So I didn't pick it up. Plus it was $5, and I was like, that's not thrift store prices. Maybe it is, I don't know, I'm new to it. But this was like $3. It's a tarot for beginners guide. It was printed the year after I was born originally, so it's not like tarot today. It's like, I don't know. Does this information age well? I have no idea, but I tried it out the other day. Like I have a little tarot deck that I got at San Diego Comic-Con last year. It's like a color your own tarot deck, but I haven't colored it. I actually kind of like the black and white. So I did my very first tarot spread. I can insert a picture of it. There's even like draw your own cards, but they're cool. I like them that they're just black and white. Wheel of Fortune. So it's cool to kind of like go through and read the meanings and kind of like, I don't know, I figure even if I don't personally like identify with a reading, I see value in it challenging my perspective a little bit, because I obviously interpret things like one way on a surface level, but then if I like read an alternative meaning of a card, it might inspire an alternative viewpoint. So I like that part of it. I don't know, I think it's cool, and I'm allowed to think it's cool, okay? I'm a 25-year-old millennial and I think tarot cards are cool. Let me live. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and like wrap up the vlog here, because it's gonna get just as long as the other one, which is exactly what I didn't want. So I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. Look forward to Inktober. If you want to read the pages a day early, check out my Patreon, and keep an eye out on my online store, my Store Envy shop. I have a lot of September's launch still up there, and then I also have the new products that are going to be posted, like the sticker sheet. But if you're a $5 patron, then you don't have to worry, because this will just arrive at your doorstep. And I think I am going to stick with the idea of doing postcards instead of like a print this month. So I think I'm going to do 4 postcards, like 1 in each color, and then I'm going to do that print, that Halloween print, just so that people have like a few and they can kind of like keep their favorite and then give the others away. So yep, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the internet. Don't mind this, it's a pimple.